Unfortunately, we're not going back to the telephone the way we all grew up if we're over 50 here. We're like, you're not gonna go to the wall and spin the thing and call. Like, we're just, letters not gonna gain market share in the next decade, right? Like, even our precious Google that has been foundational to the way the world has worked over the last 25 years, 20 years, is being challenged now with ChatGPT and artificial intelligence, even that. So, how many people here do pretty solidly in search engine optimization, SEO or SEM? Raise your hands for leads. Even the people that are outflanking here, that are actually growing through that, even that tried and true, guaranteed execution now has, for the first time, a clear technology change that could change everything. Because if this thing keeps getting as good as it looks like it's gonna get, you're just not gonna go to Google at all. You're gonna go to ChatGPT or something like that. Or Microsoft just made a $10 billion investment in it, and we might be going to Bing, because Bing might be run on Chat. This is how the world works. And again, what's so cool about getting the gray hairs, under 35, how many people are here under 35? Raise your hands. Let's clap it up for the youngsters. I like that. So many advantages for being in that game, right? Because what I'm saying here is much more natural. You grew up with that, you're like, I get that. That just seems normal. The thing that you don't have with under 35 is the gray hairs of experience. We've been through the patterns. Has anybody here ever wondered why so many service businesses are called ABC? ABC laundries, ABC carpet cleaners, ABC. That's right. Watch this, kids. Under 35, get ready to have your head blown off your body. The reason there's trillions of ABC businesses is because when the world did not have Google and it had something called the yellow pages, when you would go to see somebody to clean your carpet, they did it in alphabetical order. And so if your company was called ABC Carpet Cleaners, you were basically the first result on Google and you got the business. That little tiny story is all I care about to talk to you right now. There are people in this room that will do one fun fact, one video of here's a fun fact of the opportunities in mortgages, just that. Here's a fun fact of one opportunity in mortgages, post that on Instagram Reels and TikTok, and with no followers. You do not have an account yet, and it's your 7th video, and one video like that may go viral and lead to more leads for you in a 24-hour window than you would get the entire year. That happens every day. Yet, we continue to choose not to look. What's happening in this room is people are choosing not to look. You've just made a decision that you can't get business from TikTok. You just made that decision. You didn't post 50 times on it. You didn't optimize your profile. You don't have your website linked to the URL of your TikTok and then a video did solid and you got leads. You just decided. There's way too much deciding on subjective opinion in this room, and it's not about this room, it's the whole world. The reason I can say it is I see the data across the whole world. This is what's happening. This is why there's a supply and demand opportunity. Life is very simple. It's supply and demand. It's actually shockingly simple. If you understand supply and demand in every aspect about everything about life, you will start to understand how to make decisions. Very simply, the thing that I want to compel this room to is to understand the single biggest opportunity of under supply, not enough posts against demand, too much consumption, is leading to remarkable opportunity. I'll tell you the place that I really think a lot of you should be very comfortable. I can wrap my head around, like, Jesus, I'm gonna make videos on TikTok. That's nice, Gary, but I just can't get there. The place where I think all of you can get to and should on a daily basis is LinkedIn. LinkedIn should be a very cozy place for this room. There's nothing intimidating about it for this room, right? The only thing about it is you should probably update your photo. Most of you, the photo from 13 years ago with a suit and tie is just not a good look. Let's get that photo updated to actually look like you and maybe a little less stuffy, but LinkedIn should be a place you should dominate. LinkedIn today is acting the way Facebook did about 12 years ago. LinkedIn is, if you haven't looked, but I have a few, actually, how many people here by show of hands consume information on LinkedIn? They go to their LinkedIn and they read stuff. Raise it high. I want everybody to look, raise it higher, please. I see a lot of half hands. Please just do this for me. I want everybody to look around, keep it up. These people go to LinkedIn and read articles and information. There's an enormous opportunity on LinkedIn, right? And now the thing that I'm most excited to tell you, you don't even have to make videos. You don't even have to make videos. I know that a lot of people don't want to do it. They feel awkward at it. They're self-conscious about how they look. They don't think they have the gift of gab. There's 3 different ways to sell. There's video, and it works the best. If you're willing to get out of your comfort zone, or if you're naturally, like anybody here who's got a sense of humor and feels they have a level of charisma and isn't making videos on the internet is just leaving pure money on the table. That's just facts. But for the people that feel a little bit more self-conscious or aren't feeling as strong, the written word on LinkedIn crushes. The written word. And again, here's the key. This is how you're gonna sell. You need to make it something bigger than about you. The post isn't like, I've been doing this for 16 years, you should hit me up. That doesn't work. The post should be like, did you know? Here's what's going on. Here's some information you can use. The more you treat it as if you work for Bloomberg and you're on TV, or you work for the Wall Street Journal and you write about the mortgage industry, the more you treat it as you're the news source. And by the way, because we all know there's a level of localization to this, like if you're the local newspaper, more than the Wall Street Journal, where you're making it into context of a new bank's in town and here's what it means against a rate, or things that are actually true to the citizens. The combo of LinkedIn and Facebook for so many people in this room is a remarkable brand building exercise, referral exercise. You will be flabbergasted. Where it gets super interesting for everyone in this room, in my opinion, is what happens next when you go through a path of doing this for a couple of months. When you go through this for a couple of months, you start to run out of ideas. Some of you will run out of ideas after the first post. It happens. You overthink it, you're not sure exactly, I mean it, I get it. But it's all based on ideas. After a while, especially if you start following other people. People ask me, where do I start? I always say, go to Instagram and TikTok, put hashtag mortgages, lending, all that, and just follow 50 accounts. The content flowing to you will start to spark contextually what works, right? You can do that on all the platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, on and on. Where I get really excited for this room is if, God forbid, somebody calls my bluff on this and does it for 3 months, then it starts opening up a whole different game where you start getting a hair more comfortable and you realize, wait a minute, so I've made 100 videos on mortgages or just this, that, the other thing. What if I just make a video about fishing? Stick with me here. Or golf, or cooking, or motherhood while holding a job and holding both hats, or anything. The New York Jets getting Aaron Rodgers, for example, anything. You make a video around something that matters to you or that you also know. This is where it gets super interesting. One of you makes 71 posts on all these platforms like we talked about over 2 months. You don't get much. By month 2, you're questioning why you listened to me in the first place because this has been a complete waste of time. You're pissed. And then you decide to remember this part of the talk, and you know that you're going to your bowling night with your buddies, and you make one video about bowling. You post it. And that bowling video gets more views because it's something people actually want to watch. Very few people want to hear about mortgages from you unless they're in market, right? We would all agree that this is not the coolest industry that ever existed, right? It's needed, but it's not sexy, right? Whereas bowling, for a very small group of people, is very sexy. Not for 99%, but for 1%, right? But here's where it gets super interesting. That bowling video that somebody actually wants to watch because you said, this is how I spin it. That's the video that the person 9 miles from your home sees, looks in your profile, sees this is what you're doing for a living, is actually in market, and you get the email. That, to me, is the greatest opportunity in 2023 for business people in sectors like this, and it's one that so few people do and understand, and the ones that do are picking up market share in the same way that the few hands that went up about Google search I promise you, in this room, and Google search is much more expensive today than it was 15 years ago, but if you talk to the OGs in this industry that built some big firms, or the national players that are your toll booths, or people like Zillow that built their entire business on Google search, it worked out for people because they're the toll booth to referrals. The toll booth to referrals or to attention or to information more than anything is brand. Nike did not get me because I typed in I want to buy sneakers on Google, enter, and then the ad showed up. Nike got me because they've been branding for 30 years and I want to be associated. If you were able to micro brand around this subject matter in your world, that is your business. Your word of mouth referral, reputation, that's called brand. That's called brand. But that's only as big as the 50, 60, 90, 12, 39 people that you've done business with and the 4 people that they've told. That's 200 people, 50 times 4. When you do what I'm talking about for the last 30, 40 minutes, you start having the ability to have much more. You start having the ability to become so popular that you're now referring out leads in areas that you don't do business to other people, and your referral business is bigger than your core business. And that's a fun business by comparison.